They say love makes you blind. I think that's a lie. Love doesn't make you blind. It just makes you look the other way when the red flags start waving. Julian was 10 years younger than me. He was charming, attentive, and looked like he stepped out of an Italian fashion magazine. When you are a wealthy widow in your late 50s, society tells you to fade into the background. Julian made me feel like I was the only woman in the room. We met at a charity gala. 6 months later, he proposed in Paris. My friends called it a whirlwind romance. My financial advisor called it a liability. I told them both to mind their own business. He never asked for money. He paid for dinners. He bought me silk scarves. He was perfect until the night of the thunderstorm. I had a migraine. Julian, being the perfect fiancé, offered to make me his special chamomile tea. I was lying in bed, watching him in the reflection of the master bathroom mirror. He thought the door was closed all the way. It wasn't. I watched him pull a small vial from his toiletry bag. He tapped 2 white pills into the steaming cup, crushed them with the back of a spoon, and stirred. My heart stopped. The man who kissed me an hour ago was drugging me. My mind raced. Was he going to hurt me? Was there another woman? When he walked in, smiling that beautiful, devastating smile, handing me the cup, I took it. I brought it to my lips. And when he turned to close the blinds, I poured the tea into the potted fern next to my nightstand. I lay back down. I closed my eyes. I let my breathing get heavy, and I waited. I felt the mattress sink as he sat next to me. I smelled his expensive cologne. He whispered my name. Elena? I didn't move. He nudged my shoulder. Nothing. Then, I felt his fingers slip under my pillow. He pulled out my iPhone. Through my eyelashes, I watched what he did next. It was the most violating thing I had ever experienced. He didn't ask for my passcode. He didn't try to guess it. He held the phone over my face, gently pulled my left eyelid open just enough for the infrared scanner to catch my pupil, and the phone unlocked. Face ID bypassed. He wasn't looking for text messages from other men. He bypassed my photos. He went straight to my authenticators, my banking apps, my offshore trust accounts. He had memorized the layout of my phone perfectly. He opened my cryptocurrency wallet and account, holding $4 million from my late husband's tech investments. He took a small flash drive out of his pocket and plugged it into the bottom of my phone. He was running a script to mirror my 2-factor authentication tokens. Julian wasn't a lover. He was an operative. He was part of a high-end pig butchering syndicate, and I was the pig. He was setting up the architecture to drain my entire net worth on the day of our wedding, when I would be completely distracted. When he finally went to sleep in the guest room, I got up. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. When a woman is pushed to the edge, she doesn't break. She sharpens. The next morning, I drank my coffee, kissed his cheek, and told him I was going to the spa. Instead, I drove straight to a private cybersecurity firm run by an ex-federal agent named Dylan. We didn't just change my passwords. That would spook him. Dylan told me that these syndicates operate on greed. If we cut the line now, Julian would just disappear and find another wealthy widow. We needed to set a trap. Dylan created a shadow vault on my phone. To Julian, it looked like my $4 million was sitting right there, ready for the taking. But in reality, it was a sandbox environment filled with tracking malware. For the next 3 weeks, I played the blushing bride. I let him pick out the cake. I let him touch my face. Every time he kissed me, all I could think about was the powder in the spoon. But I smiled, because I knew exactly what was coming. The wedding day. 200 guests at a private estate in Monaco. Julian was waiting at the altar, looking like a prince in his bespoke tuxedo. I stood at the back of the aisle, holding my bouquet. My phone vibrated in my pocket. A text from Dylan. The rat is in the trap. During the groomsmen's breakfast, Julian had triggered his script. He tried to initiate the $4 million transfer, but he didn't hit my bank. He hit our honeypot, and the moment he clicked execute, our malware traced his connection back to a server farm in Dubai. It downloaded his syndicate's entire ledger. I didn't walk down the aisle. I handed the officiant a microphone. I stood in front of 200 of my closest friends, family, and Julian's fake relatives. I didn't say, "I do." I looked him dead in the eye, and I said, "Your server in Dubai just went dark. Interpol has your ledger." I have never seen the blood drain from a man's face so fast. The charming prince vanished, replaced by a terrified thief. He tried to run, but the private security I hired blocked the doors. The local authorities were already walking up the driveway. Julian is serving 8 years in a federal facility. They dismantled a massive romance scam ring because he got greedy. Because he thought I was just an old, lonely woman who wouldn't notice a crushed pill. The most dangerous scams in the world don't come from hackers in dark hoodies. They come wrapped in romance. They come with charming smiles, sweet text messages, and a cup of tea. If you want to protect your wealth, your retirement, and your heart, you have to be vigilant. Never give someone biometrics to your life. This is safe retirement. We don't just talk about savings, we talk about survival. Hit the subscribe button, because next week, I'm going to show you exactly how his syndicate used dating apps to drain over $50 million from unsuspecting victims, and the one phrase you can use to stop them instantly.